Today in this video, we're gonna discuss on a topic about demography and demographic trends of Malaysia in relation to migration. Demography is the study of human populations, which includes the size, compositions, and the distributions across space. The size of populations is about how many peoples are living in one area. Compositions of populations here means the age, sex, family, and household status of each citizen. Distributions of populations can be defined at multiple levels such as local, regional, national, and global, and with the different types of boundaries, which are politic, economic, and geographic. These three components can be changed by three demographic processes. That three demographic processes are fertility, mortality, and migrations. In this video, we're gonna focus on migrations, specifically in Malaysia. Migrations is the movement of individual, household, and groups between residents. Here are three types of migrations that commonly occurs in Malaysia. First is immigration. Immigration is moving into a country with intentions of living there permanently, which means a foreigner moves into Malaysia. Second is emigration. Emigration is moving out from origin country to another. For example, a Malaysian moves out to other country. Third is internal migrations. Internal migration is the movement of people between usual residents within national states. For instance, a Malaysian moves from one state to another state within Malaysia.
Next, the immigration. The definition of immigration is the act of entering a country with the intention of remaining there. There are several push and pull factors causes the immigration, which are lack of job or high wages, labor shortage, geographical location, and stable and sound government. The example of immigration, Indonesia was the single biggest contribution of immigrants to Malaysia, with many of them having employment in the construction, agriculture, or domestic helpers. Malaysia is an attractive destination for workers from neighboring countries seeking their wages and employment, the number of immigrants in Malaysia amounted to approximately 3.43 million in 2019. Why Malaysia has become a migrant destination? Firstly, lack of job or high wages. The lack of job causing increased rate of unemployment in the origin country. The foreigner migrate to Malaysia to increase their standard of living and get high wages. Secondly, labor shortage. Malaysia has been experiencing a higher level of industrial development. Therefore, from the human assets perspective, the country has generated a huge demand of the workforce, especially unskilled workers for immediate unemployment, industrial and manufacturing sectors. This becomes the opportunity for the migrants to get a job in Malaysia. Next, geographical location. Malaysia geographical location, which is in the center of Southeast Asia, is easily accessible by migrant, either by sea or land. And lastly, the push or pull factors. is a stable and sound government. So Malaysia has been governed by stable government and sound economic growth since independence. Because of Malaysia has been seen as the most stable nation in this region in comparison to neighbors country such as Filipina, Indonesia. This political and economical stability has become the main attraction for migration to migrate to Malaysia.
Next, we'll move into immigration. Immigration is a relocation or process of people leaving one country to reside in another. There are some push factors that causes immigration, such as lack of education, especially higher education, lack of economic opportunities and job, political issues, poor health facilities and natural disasters, such as flood. So why some Malaysians leave the country? This is because of lack of access to high quality education. There is social injustice such as unequal access to scholarship and higher education, especially among the younger population of non-Bumiputra origin. Next is because of limited opportunities for employment, such as in civil service, and it leads to higher rates of unemployment in Malaysia. So this has motivated the non-Bumiputras such as Malaysian, Chinese and Indians to leave the country. As for example, among the ethnic group in Malaysia, Chinese are the largest outflow and also experiencing the biggest change in demography. Some of them married, work and settle down in their chosen country. There are no pressing reason for them to return to their land of birth as they feel more conducive to stay overseas with their children. Some people also move out from Malaysia because of lack of career opportunities. They want to look for higher salary job, learn new skill and meet new people. They also searching for the availability of higher skill job and better currency exchange rate. For example, some Malaysians has moved to Singapore because of favorable exchange rate of Malaysian ringgit against Singapore dollar.
So, we continue our presentation with another type of migration, which is internal migration. As stated earlier by my colleague, internal migration was defined as a movement of people between usual residents within national state. There are 4 types of internal migration, which are rural to urban, rural to rural, urban to urban, and urban to rural migration. According to the Department of Statistics 2017A, 73.6% of internal migration in Malaysia was majority between urban to urban areas. This followed by 15.2% of urban to rural migration, 7% of rural to rural migration, and 4.2% rural to urban migration. Internal migration occurs because of several factors. For economic factor, people move within the country because of employment, better income, and product prices. This is due to urbanization process. Urban areas usually offers a lot of job opportunities than rural areas. Thus, people from rural areas, especially among young people, ages 25 to 34 years old, with 34.8% according to the Department of Statistics 2017A. And now we move to the second factors, which is social factor. Compared to the urban areas in Malaysia, rural areas are still lacks of lot of facility, such as school facilities. So, many parents send their children to study in urban areas for better access in learning session.
On the other hand, most Malaysians move within the national state is because of family obligation. For an example, by referring to the Department of Statistics 2016, females tend to follow family because of marriage. Next is political factors. As you can see from the screen, people move within the country because of discrimination, persecution, and insecurity still happen in some places. Insecurity happen maybe because that person insecure to live in an area that certain political person handle. While the fourth factor is environmental factor. This usually can be seen when people from certain rural areas move to another rural area for further farming activities that are suitable at the new places. Other than that, because of better food and water security and energy sources at certain areas for use in daily life. Fifth factors is facilitators. Some places, especially in rural areas, are still lack and no access to healthcare. This scenario causes people from rural areas to move to urban for better healthcare access. Other issues like lack of technologies and high cost of living make people move to other areas with better and affordable facilities. And the last factor in the slide is personal reasons. We know that despite all the factors that had been said, not all people move because of that factors. Some move because of personal reasons like retirement, religion, ethnicity, marital status, and so on, within the national state.
In conclusion, basically demographic processes are divided into three processes, which are fertility, mortality, and migration. Throughout our presentation, we are specifically talking about migration, which consists of immigration, people migrate from outside into an area or country, internal migration, people migrate within the country, and the last one is immigration, whereby people migrate out of an area or country. Migration is very important at different aspects like economy, social, politics, and more. Besides that, it also gives rise to positive impact in Malaysia, such as internal migration. For instance, people migrate from rural to urban area in order to get job opportunities, proper educational purposes, and so on. If they do not intend to move as I mentioned, they will unable to advance their life and to get better quality of life. In contrast, migration can also lead to negative impact, but how? So let's take immigration as an example. Foreign workers have higher chances to take away job opportunities from local workers. Initially, foreign workers are expected to have great assistance in overcoming the labor shortage in Malaysia. However, as I mentioned before, they took away the job opportunities from local citizens who are really need job to fend themselves. There are some solutions to overcome this problem, which is by introducing industrialized building systems in order to attract more local workers to the construction market, or by enhancing migration policy, which can be done by the government.